do that again a couple more times. Inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling it out. And this time when you breathe in, see if you can fill up all your lungs, like the bottom lobes of your lungs, so you can feel the lower portion of your abdomen rising, and then the chest rising. And then when you exhale, let everything feel the sensation of the breath moving the body. Checking into the deeper layers, like beginning to get out of your mind and into your body. So dropping down beneath the superficial layers of the mind into the superficial layers of the body. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to take a lot of time today dropping into the breath. Come on, where can I spotlight? Spotlight, no. Oh, well, I'm gonna stop playing with it. And then cross your hands together with the palms facing outward on the top of your head. And take a moment to get as much of your back, like draw your navel and your front floating ribs down, flex your feet. So press your thighs down, see if you can create like a zip line from the heels, up your legs, up your spine to the crown of the head, right? And then see if you can draw the navel in so the wings will kind of wing, the upper back will kind of round a little bit. And then on an exhale, extend the arms up overhead with your hands clasped, like back behind you. And flex the feet and press the calves down and the tops of the thighs down. Press the back of your head down. Ooh, stretch, stretch, stretch from tippy toe to fingertip, and then let that go. Draw your knees into your chest. Reach around to the tops of your knees. Make a little ball. And then begin to rock from side to side, ironing out the creases of your lower back. And then find stillness and place your palms on the tops of your knees and begin to make little circles, small, deliberate circles in one direction. Go small, go slow. There's no hurry here. Relax your jaw and the palate of your tongue. Feel free to close your eyes or keep your eyes open. Either way, whichever one helps you feel more grounded. And then reverse the direction of those circles. Nice and easy, does it? Oh, it feels good. And then come back to center and draw the knees wide and around and in. So circle them around and in, around and in. Yep, you got it. And then switch the direction of those circles. And then come back to center and draw the right arm out to the side like a T. And then drop both knees to the left. So we drop into a spinal twist. And let's circle the right wrist one way. And then circle it the other way. And then just pause here for a moment, allowing the right pectoral muscles, the muscles along the surface of the right collarbone to soften. And then come back to center and let's switch sides. Left arm out to the side like a T. Dropping both knees now to the right. And then circle the left wrist one way, circle, circle. And then circle it the other way. And then pausing here in this shape, finding stillness. allowing the muscles underneath the clavicle, the left collarbone, to soften and release. And then come back to center. And let's rock forward and back like a ball. Forward and back and forward and back. Oh. No right or wrong, just beginning to wake up the body, breathing into all your extremities. Yeah. And then come to hands and knees. And close your eyes as you wag your tail from side to side. Let your head and neck go in the opposite direction. So beginning to find a more reptilian quality. So if we breathe and find our rhythm, we quiet the mind, we soften into it. And then circling the hips in one direction, down and around, or maybe finding some organic movements. That's calling out to you. There is no right or wrong way to move here. Just beginning to kind of churn into yourself, quieting the mind. And then come back to center, and you're going to drop your hips forward for a moment, kind of like an upward facing bow, right? And then you're going to drop your hips back. And you're going to come up into a modified cobra, and then drop back to child's pose. And we're going to keep moving, so you're not going to spend much time pausing in each position, just kind of breath or two here, and then a breath or two in child's pose. If it hurts your lower back, don't go so deep. Just go as deep as it feels good. One more series of forward and back. And then coming back to center, pause for a moment, and then begin to circle in the opposite direction. So today's most difficult task is remembering which direction. No, it doesn't matter.
We're gonna get it both.
Yeah. Woo! I can tell when I start to lose my mind, you know, like I get a little more playful. Yeah, like I lose my mind. Yeah, I don't mean by losing it going cuckoo. I mean by not really being so much in my head. You know what I mean? I arrive with all this stuff on my plates. We all do, right? And then it takes a couple breaths and a couple minutes to kind of get out of that space and back into feeling space. Come back to center and extend the right arm forward with the right thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. Feel free to stop at any point along the way. And then if you're moving on, you're going to extend that left leg behind you. And then begin to animate the pose by flexing the left foot and pushing it into an imaginary wall so you wake up that leg. And then extend through the right fingers. Keep your gaze soft. Don't like crank your neck and look up. Just keep it down a little ways so you can feel that the back plate of the skull is in line with the spine. And then let that go. Ah, beautiful. And switch sides. Left palm's gonna reach, and then when you feel steady, the right leg's gonna extend. And you're gonna flex the foot, and then begin to animate and wake up the pose. Like press that right foot into an imaginary wall and extend through those left fingers underneath the bottom of the left armpit, pushing and reaching, and then let that go. Oh, so good. And then spread your knees nice and wide. to the outer edges of your mat, and let's find child's pose. So just drop your hips way back towards your feet. Let your head and neck go. We're gonna spend a couple breaths here. So this is restorative child's pose. You can stack your palms on top of each other and rest your forehead on top of your palms if that feels good. Or you can just rest your head on the forehead on the mat. And then begin to breathe into your hips. Feeling the hips expand with the breath. And soften through your toes and soften through your jaw. There we go. Yay. Just take a moment breathing in child's pose. And then with your forehead on the mat in child's pose, just walk your arms over to the right. So now we get a little bit of a lateral stretch, a side body stretch. And then walk the palms over to the left. And if you can, keeping the forehead on the mat, you may move your forehead more closer to the left knee if that feels a little bit better. And then walking the palms back to center. And then lifting the hips, coming back up to hands and knees. And let's tuck our toes and lift the hips and find our way into downward facing dog for a few breaths. So don't force or push or tug. Just kind of keep the knees soft, right? And then begin to pedal out the feet. So bend one knee as you sink the other heel down. And then pedal it out, switch. Kind of bend and sink. Let the head drop. I shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Letting the head be really heavy. And then line your pinky toes up with the outer edges of your mat and begin to walk your hands towards your toes, like midway to the mat. So you stack your hips directly over your heels. And then cup your fingers. So come onto the very tips of your fingertips. And then let your head and neck go. And then push your hips back. So finding a really long spine. It's a different variation of downward dog. And then walk your hands back towards the front of the mat and heel toe your feet back to hip distance, finding your way back to downward dog. And then on an inhale, you're going to reach the right leg up and back and come onto the balls of the left toes as you begin to open that right knee. So you're going to go open the hip and the knee and then circle the right ankle one way and then circle it the other way. And then circle the knee and the hip joint one direction, open it up, and then circle it the other direction. And then straighten the right leg and get long. Just push and reach the leg, push the palms down, reach the leg high, and then lower the leg as you drop down to your knees and pausing in child's pose for a couple breaths. So evening it all back out. When you're ready, coming back to child's pose, moving slowly with the breath. Back to downward dog. And then when you're ready, Lift the left leg up and back, and then begin to open the knee, coming onto the balls of the right toe so you can get maximum height. And then circle the left ankle one way, and then circle it the other way. Begin to circle the knee and the hip joint one way, and then the opposite way. And then straighten the left leg and just get as long as possible. Like push, and then aim your torso towards the right thigh and reach and push. And then lower the leg, drop down to your knees and find child's pose. A couple breaths. Nice job, you guys. Beginning to peel away the layers one layer at a time, softening the lips and the grip of your teeth and the jaw. Breathing into the back body, feeling the hips beginning to expand with your inhalations, and then feeling the drop of the hips down towards the heels with the exhalation. Just beginning to get in tune with the rhythm of your breath and how your breath moves your body in subtle ways. And then coming back to hands and knees. And then back to downward dog. And then on an inhale, reach the right leg up and back. And on an exhale, step it between your hands as you drop the back knee down. You come up and grab a hold of your thumbs. Right? And then take the elbows and spread them apart for a moment. And then take the elbows and draw them in. Oh, that's it, beautiful. Couple thumbs like that. Just working the wings, opening and closing. And noticing what that does to the back of the head, the neck, the shoulder region, beginning to open and soften there. One more set like this. And then open the elbows and then reach the arms up, finding maybe a little back bend if you're comfortable. Otherwise, if you're not, just keeping the head and neck in line with the spine. Right? And then from here, we're gonna draw the arms down, keeping the thumbs pulled apart. On an inhale, you're gonna reach and extend. And on an exhale, you're gonna bend and pull. Beautiful. Couple more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bending and pulling. Oh, beautiful. Two more. That's it. Let the breath move you. Last time, inhale it up. And then just kind of release the arms and straighten the front leg. Right? And then you're going to kind of flex the foot and point the foot. Flex the foot and point the foot. Ah, so good. And then flex. And then, so you can either stay here, or if you're warm enough, you can slide your heel forward and the left knee back, coming into a gentle split. Props are helpful here. Yep. Wow, right? I'm like, oh, my right hip. It's not liking this. And then come back. Rebend the right knee. Rebend, rebend, rebend. And then step the right foot back to meet the left, like the right knee back to meet the left. And then come into downward dog again. And pedal out the feet, just kind of warming up the bones in the feet, the legs. And reach the left leg up and back. Reach, 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 reach. Go slow. Feel the breath and the movement. And then step the foot between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Take your time. And then lift the torso. And now grab a hold of the thumbs the opposite way. I told you the directions are going to be the hardest part of the class. And then we come here. And let's do that whole thing again about opening the wings and then closing the wings. Opening the wings and then closing the wings. And if it feels good, when you close your wings and draw the elbows in, give a little tug on the back of the head. Inhale, yeah, back of my head and neck, oh, so tight. One more. And then extend the arms and come up. Keep pulling and tugging. So you're pulling the thumbs apart, and then you're going to exhale to bend, a little bit of a back bend, and inhale to reach. Exhale, keep pulling them apart, and inhale, reach. So there's a little balance going on here, as well as some opening in the chest and the shoulders. We're balancing the lower body, lower part of your body, as you're stretching and lengthening the upper part. One more time. And then straighten the leg and finding a hamstring stretch. So micro bend in the left knee is great. And then you can work on shaving that left hip back towards the back of the room. Keeping a micro bend in that knee. If the leg is hyperextended, it's hard to get movement in the hip joint. And then if you want to go deeper, down you go. Two breaths here. One more breath. The added challenge of the elements, right? Of the insects. And then rebend the front knee. Go slow. Place the left knee back to meet the right. And then come back into downward facing dog and pedal up the feet. Oh, so good, pedal. And then inhale, reach the right leg up and back. And then exhale, step it between your hands. Staying on the balls of the back toes. You're gonna bring your right palm to the right thigh. And then extend the left arm forward. Oh yeah. Two breaths. Then bend the back knee to upright the torso. Oh yeah. Take a moment just to kind of feel the extension underneath the left armpit, and then add the right arm. Nice. Open the wings a moment. Close the wings. No right or wrong. Just move your way through. Like, oh, that chest needs to open. Couple times. No right or wrong. Feeling your way through whatever feels good to you in this moment. Like, couple breaths with the wings open. Another couple breaths with the wings closed. Beautiful. And then drop that back heel and find your way into the second warrior. So the back foot's in at an angle. The toes are in like kind of 10 o'clock. And the right toes, left toes are in at an angle, 45-degree angle. Right toes are forward. Yeah, and then begin to extend the arms. The warrior two, finding a nice wide space in the chest. Nice. And then let's circle the wrists one way. And then circle them the other way. Oh, it feels so good to get those joints moving again. Right? And then flex the wrists, right? And push. And then opposite. Drop the fingers down and push through the wrists. Oh, beautiful. Now draw the wrists in towards the chest. And then extend the wrists out. Couple times like that. Draw the wrists in towards the chest. No right or wrong way to move. Just warming up the tendons in the joints. One more time. Beautiful. And now let's drop the right forearm to the top of the right thigh and circle the left arm around slow. Big, slow circles, opening the chest. Ooh, and the shoulder joint, getting that stuff moving. And then circle in the opposite direction. And then bring the left arm straight up towards the sky and turn the palm behind you. And then drop that arm behind you. Don't be aggressive. Just let it open back behind you. A little bit of a back bend. So you're going to push with the right elbow and forearm, the chest through the gates of the arms, and get a little bit of opening in the chest and the torso. So nice, beautiful. And then bring the left arm back up towards the ceiling, and then come back to the second order. Just kind of pivot the torso. And straighten the right leg. Beautiful. And then bring the arms back out, turn the palms up. We're gonna inhale, bend, reach the arms up. Exhale, straighten the leg and lower. Nice, couple times. Rhythm of the breath, rhythm of your movements. Starting to wake up, feeling better in your body. Two more.
Hold your shoulders first.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Last one. Beautiful. Circle the arms down towards the mat. Step back to dog pose. Curl out the feet and think the opposite heel. Wake up the joints in the feet. When you're ready, reach the left leg up and back, nice and tall. Reach, 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 reach. And then step it between your hands. Stay on the balls to the back toes. Place the left forearm on top of the left thigh as you reach the right arm out in front of you. So you're pressing through the back right heel, reaching through the right armpit and fingers, getting nice and long from fingertips to back of the heel. Then bend the right knee, upright the torso. Take a couple breaths here. Just kind of getting settled into the lengthening of underneath the armpit and the side body. Beautiful. When you're ready, reach the left arm up. Woo-hoo! Waking up the legs. And then just kind of doing that. No right or wrong way to move. Two more. Last one. Beautiful. Now drop that back heel. Whoop.
Oh, glad.
Second warrior.
Whew. Easy.
Let's kind of squeeze the shoulders in towards the neck, and then times like that, like you're cracking a nut. Squeeze, 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 and then that's my favorite move. And one more time, squeeze. Beautiful. And then we do that whole flex with through the wrist and push. And then drop the fingers and push. Make a little fist, make a little fist, and then make a little fist. One more. And then we do that, elbows soften, palms come in, and getting into that reptilian quality of the brain, quieting the mind and the thoughts, focusing back on the breath and the body. Last time. Left forearm top of left thigh. We circle that right arm. Big, slow circles. Opening the side body, the shoulders. Go slow. Make it big. And then reverse the direction. Oh, like you're wiping the sky. One more. And then the right palm's gonna come up towards the sky, and you're gonna turn the palm behind you And then just let the arms fall back. Don't force it, don't push it, don't touch it, just kind of let it fall. And now, with a little bit more energetic effort, the left forearm and elbow is going to push into that thigh to kind of open the chest a little bit more. Oh, it's so good. Oh, one more breath. And then reach the right arm back up to the sky, right? And then circle down towards the mat, stepping the left foot back to meet the right and finding your way back to downward dog.
Whew. I think we should have started with a general yoga class.
Yeah.
And now the right leg up, reach, go slow, up, step it through, drop the back knee down. So we go slow, you get to choose the depth of this next step. For now, we're just gonna kind of circle into the hip joint. It circles into that hip joint.
Good thing we ate all.
Circle all the way into the hip joint.
Your tummy hurt or your head?
Yeah, lightheaded.
My head. I got my head.
And maybe drop down to your elbows. If you have a prop, you might want to use it. Right? If you got a prop, you can scoot your right foot over to the side of the mat, like scoot. And if you need a prop, you can kind of drop your elbows onto your prop. If you don't need the prop, you come all the way down. So a couple breaths, you're going to gaze towards your navel. So you're going to round the upper back. And then a couple breaths, you're going to gaze towards the front of your mat, opening the chest. So a couple breaths, gazing down towards your navel with the head rounding. And then a couple breaths, gazing forward, opening through the chest. Oh, man. Woo-hoo. Yes, coming alive. Let's circle our head and neck one direction, and then circle the other direction. Beautiful. And now prop yourself up, and let's find pigeon pose on this side. So you're gonna kind of scoot the right foot back towards the center, and then you're gonna lay the right shin down. This is where a prop really comes in handy. You can place it underneath the right butt cheek. Some of you super flexy, you don't need any props, but what the prop does, as you can see here, is it helps keep your spine straight. And then move into this shape. Deep belly breaths. Nice work, everybody. Ooh. Usually after about a minute in stillness, you can feel a shift, like the muscles begin to release a little bit. And when that happens, soften into it. Don't push, don't force, don't tug, but let gravity and your breath release you a little deeper into the shape. Ooh. When you're ready, you're gonna crawl yourself back up, tuck the back toes under, and then lift the right leg back to meet the left and pedal out the feet again, just to get rid of any cramping. And then reach the left leg up and back, up. And as you step it through, you drop the back knee down. And you find that hip opener on the left side. So you walk the left foot over to the left as much as you need to. There's no right or wrong angle here, just as much as you need to. And we circle. We circle into that hip joint. Kind of open and turn. The hip is a ball and socket joint, and then circle the other way. So it's actually designed to move in the circular motion as well as forward and back. Sometimes it gets a little stuck or stiff and we don't circle the hip. And then we're gonna find that deeper position by either grabbing the prop and dropping your elbows onto a surface. You can also just stay up high if that's deep enough for you, or you can find your way down towards your elbows. For the first couple breaths, you're gonna gaze towards your navel. So the upper body's gonna round. And then for the next couple breaths, you're gonna gaze towards the front of your mat. And you're gonna feel how the upper chest, the upper thoracic spine opens. Right? Instead of curling and rounding, we're gonna kind of open it. One more breath, and then gaze back down towards the navel. That's it. Gazing forward, kind of pulling the chest open, like dropping into the collarbones. Oh, nice. And then walk yourself up a little bit, and then slide the left foot over, finding pigeon pose. If the prop was helpful, and you slide the prop to the other side. So there is no right or wrong way to go here. You can take a couple breaths up high, like if that's pretty intense, or it's okay, you can drop down to your forearms.
How's your hip feel?
Okay.
Want me to get you some water?
No.
And then call yourself on it, and slide the right foot, the right leg forward, and then the left leg forward. And your legs are extended out in front of you. Just kind of shake them out. And then take a deep breath in. And then exhale, down you go. If you not, now's the time to use it. Straps, belts come in handy. If you've got your strap, you can play with the shoulders. I carry so much tension in my shoulders, right? Sometimes just to have some leverage, I can kind of circle the shoulders up, back, and around, get rid of some of that tension. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears, right? And then kind of bend the elbows a little bit. Don't be too aggressive. You don't need to be in any particular shape. This is just about letting the torso kind of soften down over the thighs. And then inhale, come up. And then articulating with the C curve. So a round spine, not a flat back, but a round spine. If you've got bad back issues, skip this and come down one vertebra at a time. Flex the feet, push out of the balls of the toes. When you arrive, draw your knees into your chest. Nice. And then grab your, clasp your hands together around your knees so you're in a tight ball. And then draw your nose up to your knees. Squeeze your organs. And then let that go. And then bend your knees and place the soles of your feet on your mat. And we're gonna rise for bridge pose. So you're gonna lift the hips, and a couple options for you. You can keep the arms completely out of the equation by just reaching them overhead, right? Or you can clasp the hands together behind the back, or you can just bring the arms beside you. No right or wrong, so many different variations. Coming down when you're ready, taking a couple breaths, and then when you feel ready, coming back up to one more bridge pose. And then releasing, nice and easy does it. You draw your right knee into your chest and extend the left leg out. And let's flex and point the right toes. And then circle the right ankle one way. And then circle it the other way. And then circle the hip and knee joint one way. And then circle that the other way. And then extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. If you have your strap or belt or whatever prop, you can hook it around the balls of the right toes. And then just hang out for a couple breaths like that. Or you can place your hands on the backs of the thigh. Either way, you don't really need a prop. Let's open the leg to the right. Let's externally rotate that leg, so let that hip drop open for a couple breaths. And when you're ready, come back through the center and drop it over to the other side into a twist. And then come back to center and release your prop if you're using it. And bend the right knee and place the right palm in the arch of the right foot, so it's half happy baby. A half happy baby. And then bend the knee back into the chest and give the nose and knee a little tug. Nose to knee, a little tug. And then release. Oh, nice work. Switching sides. Bend the left knee, draw it into the chest. Let's flex and point the left toes. And then circle the ankle one way. And then circle the other way. And circle the knee and the hip one direction. And then the other direction. Nice. And then straighten the leg. And if you like using your prop, you can grab your strap or belt or whatever you have and loop it around the balls of the big toes. Or you can just grab the back of the thigh, either way. And take a couple breaths in this shape, just hang out. Don't draw the leg towards the chest. This is just letting the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint on the left hip, seat back down into the pelvis. And let's externally rotate that leg, so drop the left leg to the left, opening the hip. And then when you're ready, come back through the center and drop it over to the other side into the twist. And come back to center, and let's find that half happy baby on the left side. And now full happy baby of the right leg. And if you like to rock from side to side, feel free. If you want to do plow pose, feel free. And then draw the soles of the feet together. Yep. And let the knees go wide. So I want to invite you now to do a little inversion, like a minute or two of inversions. So you can do a passive inversion by simply letting your legs be straight up towards the ceiling, the sky. If you have a roller, you can invite the roller underneath the hips. If you have a shoulder stand practice, feel free to do that. So any inversion that makes you happy in this moment, feel free. And if you're doing shoulder stand, you're gonna roll back to plow pose. From plow pose, you're gonna roll down the spine to flat on your back with your knees into your chest. If you're doing another form of passive inversion, you're gonna bend your knees in towards your chest. If you're on top of a prop, you're gonna gently roll the prop away from you. And keep the knees hugging into the chest. You're gonna draw your nose to your knee, so squeezing a little deeper in those internal organs. And then release everything, let it go. Finding your way now to Shavasana. So whatever you want to do to get comfortable here is the way to go. You can place the roller underneath your knees if you have that top. You can lie flat on the ground. Taking this time now to rest. Allow the body to unwind, to quiet the mind, and to breathe deeply. Shavasana. And slowly coming back to the surface of your body by making circular movements with your wrists and your ankles and your toes and your fingers. Circular movements. And then reaching your arms overhead for a full body stretch. We're stretching from fingertip to tippy toe, out of your lower back. And then draw your knees into your chest and roll onto your right hand side and take a moment in the fetal position. And then press yourself up to seated position. Just sitting nice and tall. Close your eyes. Take a moment to feel, to notice the shift that occurs from the beginning of the class to the end of the class. Maybe noticing a little more ease, tension. And then bringing the palms together at our hearts. And sealing our practice by bowing our heads and feet together. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our homes. May there be peace in the world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Hana.
Good to see you guys.
See you too.
Hope to see you soon.